Everything inside Pino was familiar. But outside, the scenery changes constantly. We left the dry lands of Mexico for a very wet Nuku Hiva. It rains almost every day, the sky dropping seemingly infinite amounts of water down on us. There is no pattern to it. It comes at night just as much as it does during the day. Like we did for the Pacific crossing, we collect water and use it to wash our clothes and top off our water tanks. The rain does has its advantages. It's great for fruit trees. The island is full of them. We made sure we tried all the ones we didn't know, like breadfruit, fruit that can be kneaded and that tastes like potato. We also tried grapefruit. Nothing like the ones we have at home. The ones here are sweet and green inside. While the place is full of fruit, the same can't be said for vegetables. After nearly 30 days at sea, it felt good to step off the boat and walk around on land. Every day, we would go out and explore the area. During our Pacific crossing, we spent a lot of time brainstorming on projects we wanted to make. Small projects that we can handle while in remote islands of the South Pacific. Markle is still on our to-do list, but we decided it would be best to wait till we arrived in New Zealand to work on it. It's a bigger project that requires more focus and connectivity. We found an outdoor cafe with power and internet and made it our office. It's there that we began working on 1,000 Rooms, a visual novel following the behaviors of 4 characters, given a desk, a pen, and a sheet of paper. We have written this book in the hopes of creating a sort of Borges for children, in which the reader follows a bat, cat, owl, and fox, who all try to make sense of a simple system. After 2.5 weeks, we decided to move to another anchorage, Daniels Bay. The anchorage was much smaller, cozier. We could see goats walking along the thin ridges of the mountainside. We knew we could find water and fresh fruit for our crossing to the Tuamotus here. We precariously followed a German sailor down a shallow river. He instructed us to hug one side or the other to avoid hitting rocks at the bottom. When we arrived, we were greeted by Paul, who showed us where to top off our water. Upon seeing Devine's piercings and our tattoos, he insisted on us meeting his uncle. His uncle's house was impressive. It looked like a hackerspace tucked away in the jungle. Both of them helped us pick mangoes, papaya, soursop, limes, banana. Their property was bursting with fresh produce. Now with Pino stocked up with fruit, we said goodbye to Nuku Hiva and began our week-long sail to Rangiroa, the world's largest atoll. During this transit, Devine seemed to attract all of the squalls, while I barely got a drop. We tried to prepare soursop for the first time while underway. It's one of the weirder fruits we've had. We arrived in Rangiroa with 30 knots blowing at our backs. We made it through the pass, and luckily the weather died down when it came time to anchor. It was our first time anchoring amongst coral, but because the water was so clear, it wasn't too hard to see where they were. That morning, we were greeted with an amazing sight. Racers on kayaks completely surrounding the boat. The colors of their kayaks and jerseys against the dark background made for a wonderful contrast. When looking below the boat, we noticed how diverse the fish were. Pino had its own little ecosystem. Schools of parrotfish and unicornfish were swimming around casually, waiting for scraps. It's hard to believe islands like this exist, and that people live on them. It's even harder to believe that we too are here, on this tiny piece of land barely visible on Google Maps. Our next stop will be Tahiti, the land of hopefully decent internet. As always, thank you for keeping us afloat. Literally.
I think you've had enough pamplemousse for one day.
You also get to shower every day. Every day. You're so wet. Bye.
Whoa.
70 kilometers an hour.
70?
70.
Wow.
Where's Pino now?
You're in the mountains now.